And yet you also say that God doesn't know our future. How can that be? It's easy. I'll give you the answer. We know the potentials of all of the things that you might do. It's extremely complex to you. To us it is not. It's interdimensional. It all loops around in a circle. We can see the potentials of every decision you might make. Therefore, we know everything. Except one. In your free choice situation on this planet, we don't know which one you're going to do. That's up to you. But when you do it, we say, that's the path that we had all along. Now we know what's going to happen. So I bring this to you so that you will think this through. I've already discussed the past in your mind. Let's discuss the future in your mind. Do you agree that each lifetime you might live is a graduate one from the one you had before? In other words, you learn from each and you reincarnate with all of the knowledge from what you call the past one. So the next life is going to be better. The one after that, more informed. The one after that, more enlightened than ever. You learn, you learn, you learn. If that's the truth, and if what I'm saying is also the truth, that means there is no time. You've already lived them. Oh, you're living them now. And if that's the case, why don't you choose to go 5 lifetimes up and grab the wisdom that you were going to learn in your paradigm and pull it down and use it right now? How about that? That's called ascension status, dear human being, and that has been the promise since I arrived in 1989. You got a new energy on this planet. Whether you call it the harmonic convergence, the harmonic concordance, whether you call it the Venus transit, you call it whatever you want. We even gave you the big one, the Paradise Matrix. Go back and find what that is. All of these are deliveries to the planet to set you up for 2012, the renaissance of a new sun. No wonder it seems so dark here to you. You're only beginning to turn on the lights. I know I speak in metaphors. Let me move on to another one. You all want to know about it. Humans are possessed. How do I co-create my reality, you say? Well, the first way is to get rid of the sense of time. Understand and agree that you are bigger than it seems. There are more of you than it seems. And although you're in charge with your brain, think for a moment of these lifetimes that are still happening that you have control over. KRYON, does that mean that I have control over my higher self? Yes, it does. Because your higher self is no more than a divine complement of your angelic being. It sits there in no judgment at all. It does not control you. It sits there ready to be connected to you. And when you connect to it, your thoughts are the thoughts of the higher self. What a concept. What about co-creation? In order for me to do this correctly, I have to give you the rule. The rule. The axiom, if you wish, that you've always known is there, but now I'm going to verbalize it. And that is this rule. It's about enlightenment. And here it is. No amount of enlightenment can be put upon another person to change them without their permission. Let me put it in another way. You can not, with your enlightenment, steamroll over another person who has not what you have. It's against the rules. It cannot be done. And it doesn't work that way. In an 3D attribute, you see co-creation as something you do that affects you and gets you something. That's not the way it works at all. You cannot, in all integrity, affect someone else's life with your co-creation. And you will say, well, how else can it work? Doesn't there have to be a winner and a loser? And the answer is no, there is not. There's a winner and a winner. Here's what you don't understand. As you co-create for yourself, you push energy around that never would have been pushed around before. And when you do this, it helps someone else to move into a place that will eventually give them light that they didn't have before. At the same time, create a situation in your life that you have prayed for. That is complex. Let me review so that you understand two things we have mentioned before. When you send light, it is the same concept. We told you before, you are not allowed to send light with a bias. If you know something is happening and you wish to send light there, don't send the solution. Don't send what you want. Just send light. Get used to understanding that light is all you have. That's what the lighthouse has. It doesn't have an agenda. It only has light. It doesn't broadcast something on the light. It only has light. You send light to a place in the darkness, and whoever is there gets to see better. Do you understand? And when they see better with their free choice, they can choose things that you have helped illuminate with your light. That is in integrity. We told you that before. The second review is we told you about prayer. You pray for someone. Don't put an agenda on it. Well, Kryon, if we can't put an agenda on it, how do we pray for somebody? It's easy. You see the result of the prayer. If you're praying for someone's health and they are sick, see them in your mind as happy without the disease. Don't tell God what to do. See the result. If you pray for peace, you see an earth where families are not in fear or worry, where they don't have war. And you see the smiles of the children. This is your visualization, and that is your prayer. And that, my friends, is just like sending light. You send the compassion of your divine self to places that need it. That's what lighthouses do. That's not hard to understand, but the hardest one to understand is co-creation. And the only way I can do it is to give you this example, one that you will all understand, especially in this town. See, I know where I am. How many of you have heard of the parking angel? You got parking angels here. You probably have more here than any other place on earth. Let's say for a moment you're in your vehicle and you're circling the block. And you're praying, dear parking angel, I don't know how you're going to do it, but we need a space here. You all been there, haven't you? Suddenly, indeed, another vehicle pulls out. And that driver drives away. Right in front of you, you pull in. You go, thank you, parking angel. Now, let me review to you what just happened so that you're not confused. There are some who feel the scenario goes like this. Their arrival changes the energy of the circle, of the block. And somehow, some poor soul who was in a store shopping gets ripped away by the neck by the parking angel and plopped into a car where they're forced to put it in reverse and leave. And then you get the space. Oh, how 3D of you. Of course, it doesn't happen. No, it's a synchronized dance that's out of time and out of space. Do you know how complex this one thing is? Your arrival corresponds, because of the energy you put into the prayer, with someone else's departure. So all the parking angel has done is to align the synchronicity. You're there at the right time, and they leave, and you come in. They're happy. You're happy. Everybody won. Do you understand how that works? And now think for a moment of the complexity of the planning of just the one. You've got a higher self, and you've got other selves above that. Knowing what time you're coming, what time you're going, when you're going to pray, and all these things, because they're out of time and you're in time. Do you understand how complex? just one thing is called the parking angel. Now, amplify that tens of millions of times, because the process is about the dance of synchronicity. You're asking for relationship issues, you're asking for job issues, you're asking for travel issues, so many things you're trying to co-create in your life. You're asking for the synchronicity of the dance. And at the same time, so many of you who don't understand how this works, you put rules on it. Oh, Spirit, deliver to me exactly what I need, and I've got this need, and I've got that need, and I'm going to co-create it. But I'm not willing to leave the town, by the way, and I'm not willing to do this, and I'm not willing to do that. How am I supposed to do anything? Your angel says, if you don't move around, you put restrictions on it, you're not going to have a co-creative ability. If you want to co-create, let the dance begin. No restrictions. Don't be afraid of the love of God. Don't be afraid of the love of God. You think you've got it figured out where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to be doing? You all got something, don't you? You don't want God to touch. God, don't touch my family. Let me tell you about your imprisoned thought. You're always afraid that God's going to do something to your family. What if we touched your family and made them fall in love with you all over again? What if they got an enhanced love wash? What if this family of yours that you don't want us to touch suddenly becomes enlightened because they see something in you? Is that okay? Is that okay? Oh, you put restrictions on us. Let the dance begin. That's what we want to tell you. That's courageous, isn't it? We got one last thing. Yai. You've heard this before. Oh, dear one. We've spent time together, haven't we? It's called quantum intelligence. We don't speak of it very often, but you got to know what it is. You want to put God in a box. You want to compartmentalize everything that is so that you can understand it. Dear God, teach me how to pray. I need to know how to pray. We've heard this so often. And we've told you before, don't worry about it. You develop the light and we know where it goes. How about that arrangement? Free choice. You develop the light. We know where it goes. You want to pray for somebody in Somalia, but you don't know who because there's so many who need it. You develop the light. We know who needs it. Quantum intelligence. You're connected, all of you. You develop the light without knowing who it goes to. We know the address. This comes right down to the effect of what Yai is doing with his interdimensional null laser. And Yai, we say it again, there is the attempt for you to compartmentalize the attributes of the molecular structure in order to have a harmonious effect with a certain modulation. And that you feel is therefore going to touch the parts that need it within the human body. But we're going to tell you this: do all of your experiments with a control of a multi-colored and modulated laser so that you can see the results of one that you don't modulate specifically. Because you're going to be surprised. There could be a generic one that knows exactly what to do no matter what color it is. No matter what the modulation is. Do your experiments with that in mind, and that will speed up things, because then you won't be compartmentalizing the modulations as much when you realize that through quantum intelligence, one might know exactly what to do. It's just like prayer. Are you here tonight and you're uncertain of how to pray or what to do for your own body? Says, I don't know what to do next. Why should you? Don't you understand? You sit in front of God and say, I am connecting with my higher self. Finally, dear God, not only do I tell me what I need to know, but just do it, will you? I'm sitting here and I'm ready. And then stand back. All we need is your permission. Quantum intelligence will go to the places in your body that need it. Get used to meditating every day, even a short amount of time. Dear Spirit, place in me what I need. And you'll save a lot of time, dear human being, if you'll stop telling us what you think we should know. Don't you think we're around? Oh, you sit in front of Spirit and you say, oh, you won't believe what happened today. Oh, yes, we do. We were there, remember? Well, Spirit, I'm going to have a hard time paying the rent. Don't you think we know that? Don't waste time. We're in love with you. Don't waste time. Just get to the point. And the point is this. Dear Spirit, give me what I need and tell me what I need. And then give me peace that it has been accomplished. And I'll just sit here and I'll be loved. That's what brothers and sisters in spirit do with one another. And that's who I am. I'm your sister in spirit. And you know it, don't you? You know it, don't you? Always connected. No matter what. But you knew that, didn't you? I want to awake what you already know. I want to take the veil away for a minute so you can see the colors. I want you to feel touch tonight. I want you to know something happened in 3D so that you'll leave this place differently than you came in. That's what I want. You haven't got as much time as you think you do. We need you to do these things sooner than later. Here we sit in a very historic place, and I'm not talking about this church. I'm talking about the fact that we are so close to the event you called 9/11. And you think of the loss of life there, in your own city, in your own town, in your own neighborhood. Such a profundity of energy shift on the planet happened right here. Now, I want to just revisit with you for a moment these thousands of lives. Just the ones that are here. The ones that were lost right here, just those. You know, out of time, they're still here. Some of them have turned around and reincarnated immediately. And if you could interview them, I'll tell you again and again and again what they have to say. They will tell you, at some level we agreed to this, we knew about it, we participated in it, it is part of what we came in for. We did our part, now you do yours. And then take a look at the smiles they have on their face, because they are eternal, dear human being. Just like you. And you may not like it, and it may be sorrowful for you. But the fact is that there is joy in their hearts because they are known by God. Every single one. Every single one. Just like you. It's time for a shift. Let you be the ones to begin this. It's a sweet place here. And the colors have been grand. 5 of you have got the seeds of healing that you didn't have when you came in. And I don't just mean physically. How about peace over something that you want peace over? Don't you think I know who's here? You want to celebrate it? Because it's happened. Why don't you celebrate it? Why don't you go ahead and let yourself feel it? The peace that passeth understanding. You can't explain it. Waking up peaceful, no matter what is in your life, no matter what the threats are, what the conditions are, known by God. Let us in. Dear Lemurian lighthouses, I'll see you again. You can count on it. You can count on it. You can count on it.